We are going to study about the weathering and erosion. Okay, so let's start the lesson. So what is weathering? So weathering, it is something in which the wearing away of the earth's surface happens. So what is wearing away of the earth's surface? So you know that we have mountains, we have plateaus, we have plains. Okay, so these are some of the earth surfaces, that is some of the earth structures, the external earth structures, in which we have mountains and we have plateaus, then we have plains, then we have rocks. So all of these are the external structures of the external physical structures of the earth. Okay, and wearing away of this earth's structures is called as weathering. Okay, and normally it happens through the process called as denudation. Okay, so the wearing away of earth's surface is commonly known as denudation and is generally carried out in 4 phases, that is weathering, erosion, transportation and deposition. Okay, so now we are going to study about the weathering. So you should remember one thing, that warm wet climate promotes rapid chemical weathering, while dry climate provides good conditions for physical weathering. I am going to explain you about what is the physical weathering and what is the chemical weathering. Okay, so first let's start with weathering. So weathering, it is divided into 3 types. We have 3 types of weathering. First is physical weathering, second is chemical weathering, and third is biological weathering. What is physical, chemical, biological? Don't get confused. So this physical weathering, in this physical weathering, physical forces are working. Okay, then in chemical weathering, chemical forces are working. Okay, and in this biological weathering, biological forces are working. Okay, so what are these physical forces? So physical forces may be like wind, or it may be water, or it may be ice. So these are the physical forces. Okay, so the alteration which is coming through the wind, through the ice, through the water, they are called as physical weathering. Now chemical weathering, the forces which are working in the chemical weathering are the chemicals. Okay, the chemicals which are present in the rocks itself, the structures itself, or the water which is falling on that rock, okay, or on that structure. So the chemicals which are present in that rock or the structure or the water which is coming in contact, so this is called as chemical forces. So the changes which are occurring due to the chemical weathering are called as chemical weathering. And in biological weathering, we are the people responsible for the biological weathering, we and the animals and the plants. Okay, so these are the forces which are responsible for the biological weathering. So don't worry, first we will start with physical weathering and we will go into detail what is this physical weathering. We are going to study about that in detail, so don't get worried about that. So first let's start with this physical weathering. What is this physical weathering? So this physical weathering, it is also called as mechanical weathering. Why? Because the disintegration is happening due to this mechanical process. Okay, disintegration is happening through the mechanical process because the action of wind on the structure, then action of water on structure, then action of the ice on the structure, these are all mechanical forces. Okay, these are the so this is the reason it is also called as mechanical process. Okay, so we have again subdivision in this physical weathering. So insolation and frost. So the types of physical weathering are by insolation, the physical weathering which is causing by insolation, and the physical weathering which is happening due to frost. Okay, insolation which is related to temperature or sunlight. and frost, which is related to ice. Okay, so these are the two subdivisions of the physical weathering. Remember this. Now first we will start with this insulation type of physical weathering. So here this is the insulation type of physical weathering, and the first is block disintegration. Now this block disintegration is a physical weathering which is happening due to the insulation. So what is this? So in this process what happens is, mainly this process, this block integration, this takes place in the dry desert areas, okay, where the temperature is hot at day and cold by night. Okay, hot at day and cold at night. So you should remember one thing: in deserts the temperature in day it is very high, and in the nights the temperature it reaches to 0 degrees Celsius, and sometimes it reaches below 0 degrees Celsius also. So there is inversion of temperature. Okay, diurnal temperature, the range of diurnal temperature is very high. In day the temperature is very high, and in nights the temperature goes below 0 degrees Celsius, because we know the capacity of sand or the rocks, the nature of sand or rock, it gets heated very quickly and again it loses its temperature very quickly. So because of this, the temperature at day when the sunlight is overhead and the sunlight is falling on the structures, so it will get heated very quickly. But as the sun sets, it will lose its heat or it will lose its temperature very quickly. Because of this, it will, in the nights it will reach below 0 degrees Celsius, and because of that, inversion of temperature, the change of temperature, in diurnal change of temperature is very high. Okay, the change of temperature. Okay, change of temperature, and this is responsible for block disintegration. How? I will tell you. So what will happen? So for example, this is rock, and in daytime the sunlight is falling on the rock, and we know that in deserts the temperature is very high. Okay, it is very high, and when this high temperature, because of this high temperature, the sunlight will fall on this rock structure, and this will lead to expansion, because we know when things get heated up they expand. Okay, same thing will happen with this rock structure also. When sunlight will fall on this rock structure, it will expand, and in the night when the temperature is reduced, at that time the rock will contract, that is, the contraction will happen. So in daytime it will expand, the expansion of rock, and in the night the contraction of rock. So the alternate expansion and contraction and expansion and contraction, this will set up stress in the rock. Okay, and finally it will lead it to its disintegration. Did you get it? Very simple. Okay, here is a rock, we know, and in deserts temperature is very high. Okay, and due to this huge temperature the rock will expand, and when in the nights the temperature will come to 0 degrees Celsius or below 0 degrees Celsius, or it will be very low, at that time the rock will contract, the contraction will happen of the rock, and due to that the expansion, and in the nights the contraction is happening, and due to this will lead a stress into the rock, and due to this, after some time, over a period of time, this process is going on, and finally it will lead to the disintegration of the rock. Okay, it will disintegrate the rock. So this is called as block disintegration. Okay, so the second thing is granular disintegration, and this is also happening due to insulation, and this is a part of physical weathering only. Okay, so what happens is, so different minerals in rock leads to different rate of expansion and contraction of rock, and later on it leads to fragmentation of rock, for example granite. So you know that different rocks, in single rock there may be different minerals present. Okay, and this different minerals, they may get expanded or they may get contracted due to the different capacity of expansion and contraction. Some mineral may get expanded quickly, some mineral may get contracted quickly. Okay, so due to this difference into the expansion and contraction of different minerals which are present in the rock, difference in expansion and contraction of different minerals. Okay, so this is the basic reason behind this granular disintegration. So now the rock will not disintegrate completely, okay, but the granules will get disintegrated. So here you can see the granules are getting disintegrated. If you can see properly, here the granules are getting disintegrated. So this is called as granular disintegration, where the complete disintegration is not happening, but granular disintegration is happening due to the difference in the expansion and contraction of different minerals which are present in the rocks. Okay, so you should remember this basic reason behind this granular disintegration. Okay, now let's move forward. So the exfoliation is again a type of physical weathering which is caused due to insolation only. Okay, exfoliation is caused due to insolation only, and it is also a type of physical weathering only. So what happens is, stresses are naturally greatest near the surface and where there are sharp angles in the rock. Okay, remember this. At the surface, the stress is very high due to the heavy temperature, and at the sharp angles in the rock. Now what will happen is the rectangular blocks are thus gradually grounded by splitting away of sharp corners. So for example, here you have a rock which has a sharp angles. So due to the heavy stress which is at the surface, okay, and at the corners, at the surface as well as at the corners, due to heavy stress, this will get wear away. Okay, this will get wear away, and finally we will get something like this. Okay, we will get something like this, and its angles, it will be weared away. Okay, and later on, finally it leads to peeling off of rock's outer layer. So here you will see, so exfoliation also takes place by repeated wetting and drying of rock surface, as during wetting its outer layer absorbs moisture and expand, and when they dry, this moisture evaporates and they quickly shrinks, so finally leading to peeling of outer layer of the rock. So here you will find the exfoliation. This is the very good example of exfoliation. So here you can see this outer layer, there is huge stress, and due to that huge stress it will get wear away and it will convert into this round shaped rock. And again, when it is absorbing the moisture, okay, this structure, it is absorbing the moisture, and after some time it will lose away. When this outer layer, it will absorb the moisture and it will expand, and after some time when the moisture will go away, when it will lose the moisture, that time what will happen, it will contract. So again the same process, the expansion and contraction, and that will lead to the peeling out of the outer layer of the rock. Here you can see peeling away of the outer layer of the rock is happening. So this is called as exfoliation. Okay, and this is also happening due to the insolation, and this is also part of physical weathering, where the peeling out of outer layer of the rock is happening. Okay, so this is a type of physical weathering. Now let's see the physical weathering which is happening due to frost, by frost. Okay, earlier we have seen the physical weathering, which is happening due to the frost. So mainly at high altitudes and cold climates, where during day cracks and joints inside rock fill with water and during night they get frozen. What will happen is, for example, here you have a rock. Okay. So this is the rock. And what will happen during daytime? It will be filled with the water. So water will be accumulated here in this part. And as you know that when water is converted into ice, its volume will increase. Okay. Water is converted into ice, volume increases. By 9%. Okay. So when water is converted into ice, its volume will increase, and when its volume will increase, that means it will take more space. So when water was accumulated here and when its volume is increased, it will need more space and it will put a stress on this side as well as this side, and due to this cracks will develop, and more cracks will develop, more and more cracks will develop, and in this way this type of structure you can see, the cracks here you can see, this is happening due to the frost. Okay, so this leads to increase in volume of water in the rock by approx 9%, and it will give rise to this type of structures. Okay, so extremely slow and gradual decomposition of rocks due to exposure to air and water is called as chemical weathering. Okay, so now we have studied physical weathering. Now we are going to study about the chemical weathering. What is chemical weathering? So we have just seen that extremely slow and gradual decomposition of rocks due to exposure to air and water. Okay, this is the chemical weathering is happening due to the exposure of rocks to the air and water. So for example, granite when exposed to weather is found to be rough surfaced. Okay, rough surfaced because it is mainly made up of quartz, feldspar and mica. So feldspar is more quickly weathered than quartz, hence is worn away, eventually leaving loosened quartz crystals. So let me put it in a simple way. So if you see, different materials are present in different rocks. Okay, and they have their different characteristics. So different type of minerals are present in different type of rock structures or the earth structures. Okay, so we are going to study about that in detail. So here you will see that when a soil cover on the rock exists, chemical weathering of the rock enhances because the soil absorbs rainwater and keeps the underlying rock in contact with its moisture. When the soil cover is present on the rock, it will enhance the absorption of water, and it will when the soil will absorb the water, at that time the rock will come into the contact of the moisture. Okay, so it will the rainwater absorbs organic acids from the soil and thus become a stronger weathering agent than pure water acting on the bare rock. So when this rainwater, so for example, the example is you have a rock and there is a soil cover on that rock. Okay, and when the raindrops are coming on the soil, at that time the soil will absorb the rainwater, and after the rain is absorbed by the soil, that time it will seep into the rock which is underlying below the soil cover. At that time what will happen? The chemical composition of the rainwater will be altered. Why? Because there are different chemicals which are present in the soil itself, and that time the different chemical composition of the water which is coming on the rock, that time it will enhance the chemical weathering. Okay, so here you have three types of chemical weathering, that is solution, oxidation and decomposition by organic acids. So these are the three types of chemical weathering: solution, oxidation and decomposition by organic acids. So first let's start with this solution. What is solution? So many minerals are dissolved by water, especially with rainwater, which contains enough carbon dioxide to make it a weak acid. Okay, for example, in case of limestone, rainwater dissolves calcium carbonate of which rock is chiefly formed, and hence joints and cracks in the rock are quickly widened, wearing it out easily. So what will happen when the rainwater is falling on the limestone? Limestone is mainly made up of calcium carbonate. Okay, and when calcium carbonate, that limestone, when it will come in the contact of the rainwater, at that time the rainwater will take away with it the calcium carbonate, and when the calcium carbonate will be taken away from the rock, that is from the limestone, that time it will weaken that limestone rock. Okay, and due to this solution process, it will quickly widen the cracks in that limestone rock and it will wear it away easily. Okay, so rocks are more resistant if they have fewer joints or cracks to harbor the moistures. So the rocks which are resistant to the rainwater, or those rocks which don't have that much of cracks, so that the moisture will get accumulated in that rock, that rocks are resistant to the solution weathering or the chemical weathering. Okay, so all rocks are subjected to solution up to some extent, though the process may be much slower, depending not only on mineral composition of the rock but also on its structure, density and climatic condition it faces. That means कभी ना कभी तो सारे के सारे rocks solution के process से जाते हैं, but they vary. Okay, some rocks they will face more solution process, some rocks they will face less solution process, depending on which area they are situated. Okay, so this is all about the solution. Now let's see something about the oxidation. So oxidation, it is weathering by reaction of oxygen in presence of air and water with minerals present in the rock. Okay, for example, most rock contains certain amount of iron, which when comes in contact with air is changed into iron oxide and finally into rust, which crumbles easily, loosening the overall structure of the rock. What happens is, every rock contains some portion of iron in it. Okay, and when this iron, it comes in contact of oxygen, okay, that may be in the atmosphere or through the water also. So at that time what will happen, when iron it comes into contact of oxygen, that time it forms the rust, and when the rust is formed, it crumbles the structure and it loosens the rock, the structure, and after all, at the end, the overall fall of the structure happens. Okay, it loosens the rocks and the fragmentation of the rock or the disintegration of the rock happens. Okay, and this is called as oxidation. Oxidation means the process which is happening due to the oxygen. Oxygen is the main agent here. Okay, now the third one is the decomposition by organic acids. So within the soil which covers most rocks are bacteria. That means in the soil there are a lot of bacteria which are present, so which thrive on decaying plant or animal material. So this bacteria, this thrive on the decaying plant or animal. So these bacteria produces acids and when dissolved in water help to speed up weathering of underlying rocks. In some cases, microorganisms and plants like mosses or lichens can live on bare rock damp surface, absorbing chemical elements from the rocks as food and producing organic acids. Hence, they become the agent of both chemical and mechanical weathering. So what happens in this decomposition by organic acids is that the soil which is on the rocks, in that soil lot of bacteria is living, and this bacteria is producing acids. Okay, and when these acids come in contact with the rock, at that time these acids react on the rock, and due to this reaction the minerals are weared away and this rocks gets loosened up. Again, there are some organisms which are directly living on the rocks, and they are using that microorganisms, they are using the minerals which are present in the rocks for their living, for their survival. And when they are using that minerals which are present in the rocks, that time they are producing new acids, and that new acids are again reacting with the rock, and that minerals, that reaction that is causing the disintegration of the rock. Okay, so this is called as decomposition by organic acids. And the third one is called as biological weathering. So biological weathering is happening due to men, animals, insects and vegetation. Okay, so men means sometimes we are responsible for this biological weathering because we are utilizing rocks for construction and all that. So this is also biological weathering where we are using the rocks. Then animals are also responsible because at the time of grazing, when the goats are grazing or the animals are grazing on the pasture lands, at that time what happens is there is a grass and the soil structure is there. There is a soil on the rocks and the grass is grown on the soil. Okay, now what happens is when animals are grazing and they come and they eat this grass, after they eat this grass, what will happen is they will eat this grass. And earlier what was happening, this grass had helped the soil to retain itself. Okay, but once this grass is eaten, that time the soil will get loosened up, and after the rain comes, this soil will get carried away and this rock will get exposed to temperature, heat and pressure, and due to this the rock will get weathered. Okay, so this is called as weathering due to animals. Then insects also, lot of insects, they will go inside the cracks of the rocks, they will produce different kind of acids and this will react on the rocks, and due to this the weathering will take place. Okay, and then again the vegetation, here you can see the trees are growing in the cracks of the rocks and the roots are going deep inside. Okay, here you can see the roots are going deep inside, and when the roots are going deep inside, they will create a stress on the structures inside the rocks, and due to this the disintegration will happen and it will also enhance the weathering. Okay, now we have seen weathering. Now let's see what is erosion. So erosion involves acquisition and transportation of rock debris. Remember, acquisition and transportation of rock debris. So the rock debris which was there after weathering, that will get accumulated, that is acquisition and transportation of this rock debris which was the result of the weathering. So when massive rock break into smaller fragments through weathering and any other process, erosional geomorphic agents, which are these erosional geomorphic agents, like running water, groundwater, glaciers, winds, waves. Okay, these are the geomorphic agents. So what does they do? So this remove and transport it to other places depending upon the dynamics of each of these agents. So the running water, groundwater, glaciers, winds and waves, the sea waves. Okay, so this will act as the transportation agent. Okay, so abrasion by rock debris carried by these geomorphic agents also aids greatly in erosion. For example, you see here is a rock structure. Here you can see this is a rock structure and the winds are coming. The winds are coming in this direction. So when the winds are taking with themselves the rock debris, okay, after weathering there was a rock debris and these winds carried away this rock debris. So these small fragments of the rocks, they are also coming with the wind. Okay, so the winds are blowing and along with these winds the small rock debris is also coming, and when this rock debris will hit the rock structure, the mountain or whatever it is, it will enhance the erosion, and that is called as abrasion. Okay. So abrasion by rock debris carried by these geomorphic agents also aids greatly in erosion. So by erosion, relief features, they degrade. Okay, that is, the landscape is worn down, landscape changes, the structure changes. Okay, so that means weathering aids erosion. It is not a precondition for erosion. Remember, weathering is not a precondition for erosion, it only aids to the erosion. So it is weathering that is responsible for continuous changes that earth is undergoing. Now the one thing you should remember is the Aravalis. So the Aravali mountains, you can find it on your map, on your atlas. Where are these Aravali mountain? Okay, so Aravali mountains are the oldest mountains on the earth. Okay, and these Aravali mountains, now you will find that Aravali mountains don't have that much of height. They are very low in height. But earlier this was not the thing. Earlier, these Aravali mountains had big height, they had huge height, but due to this weathering and erosion, they were veered away. Okay, वो weathering हो गई उनकी और उनका जो structure है वो change हो गया. Okay, the structure was altered. And now we can find that Aravalis don't have that much of height and their structure is like changed, and this happened due to the weathering and erosion only. So this is the important thing about the weathering and erosion you should remember. Okay, so now we have seen, till now we have physical weathering, we have chemical weathering, and we have biological weathering. And in physical weathering, we saw there are two types of weathering. One is through insolation and one is through frost. Okay, फिर हमने देखा chemical weathering में 3 types थे. One was through solution, in which the different chemicals were reacting, and then was oxidation, in which oxygen was very important, because the rusting was taking place of the iron which was present in the rocks. It was getting rusted due to the action of oxygen, and the rock was getting disintegrated. And then we saw the weathering due to the organic material. Okay, and then we have seen the biological weathering. Okay, so in this way we have completed the weathering and erosion chapter. So in our next chapter, in our next lesson, we are going to study about landforms, what type of landforms we have. Okay, so this is going to be a very big topic. So